Hello, this is Amruta Vidwat. Welcome to the session of specifying a class and member function specification. Here is the overview of this session. First, we are going to see specifying a class, then how to declare objects, accessing class members, member function specification, and last one is making outside function inline. Let's see how to specify a class. Let's see specifying a class. As we know, class contains data and the functions to operate on that data. So here is one example mentioned. In the class, the variables in the class are called as data members and the functions in the class are called as member functions. So class declaration specifies its data members, member functions and their scope. So this is the syntax of class declaration. It contains two sections, private section and the public section. In both the section, we can declare variables as well as functions. Private is the keyword used to prevent direct access to member variables or functions by the object. And public is also the keyword which can be used to allow objects to access the member variables of class directly. So this class is a keyword. The class declaration is enclosed with the curly braces and terminated by a semicolon. The data members and the member functions are divided into two sections, that is private section and the public section. The object cannot directly access the member variables and functions declared in private section, but it can access the data member variables and the functions declared in the public section. Now we will see how to declare an object. As we know, object is an instance of class. Here is the syntax to declare an object. So book is the class and B1 is the object of this class. So process of defining an object is called instantiation. See the characteristics of an object. Object is individual. It points to physical or logical thing and its scope is limited to the block in which it is defined. Now we will see accessing class members. As we know, class members can be accessed only through the objects of that class. Here is the syntax to access class members. So in this, we have to first write object name, then dot, function name and in the bracket argument list. So this dot is called as class member access operator. Member functions are always called using an object because a member function is always called to act on a specific object, not on the class in general. After this, we will see member function specifications. Member function should be declared inside the class. but they can be defined inside the class or outside the class. And the member functions which are defined inside the class are treated as inline functions. Now we will see how to define member function inside the class and outside the class with the example. Member function inside the class can be declared in public or private section. When function is declared as inline, it increases the program execution speed. Why this happens? Because when a function is declared as inline, the compiler copies the code of the function in the calling function. That is, function body is inserted in place of function call during the compilation. So, it increases the program execution speed. But this can be useful only when the function is small. Due to the use of inline functions, program needs more memory. Now here is the example of member function inside the class. So here we have created class book. Private section starts here. Public section starts here. We have defined this member function output val in the public section of the class book. So this is the member function inside the class, and here in the main, object declaration is done. Book is the class name and 1 is the object name, and on the second line we have called public member function through the object 1. So when we define member function inside the class, that is called as inline function. Now in this slide, we have defined one function in the private section. Now we'll see how to use that member function which is defined in the private. So in the private section of class book, we have defined the function use. Another function we have, that is output val, that we have defined in the public section. Now see, in the main, if I write one.use, one is my object name and use is the function which is defined in the private section. Now I cannot write this will give me an error because I cannot access the private member function in the main. So for that, what I have done here, I have called that private member function in the public section, and then I can use the private member function. So see the code here. Now we will see member function outside the class. In the previous two slides, what we have seen, we have defined member function inside the class, that is called as inline function. In the first slide, I have defined the member function in the public section, and in the previous slide, I have defined member function in the private section. Now here we will see that member function declaration is done in the public section of the class book and the definition is written outside the class. So here void is the return type, book is the class name, and output val is the member function, and This is scope access operator, which separates the class name and the function name. And in the main, I have declared object and I have made a call to the public member function. And the last thing we will see, making an outside member function inline. And the last one is making an outside member function inline. Now what is inline function? Just we said that when we define member function inside the class, then it is called as inline function, and that is good for the small functions, right? So if there is a large functions that should be defined outside the class, and if I want to make that function inline, how can I do that? For that purpose, I have to use this inline keyword. Now here I have declared the member function inside the public section of the class book, and then I have defined that function outside the class with the keyword inline. So likewise, I can make the outside member function inline. So in this session we have seen specifying class, declaring objects, accessing class members, member function specifications inside the class and outside the class, and the last one is making an outside member function inline. Thank you.